Hey everyone, so today we are going to talk about system of linear equations. So we will see what are system of linear equations using examples. Then we will see what are the types of system of linear equations. Then we will see when does the solution to the system exist. So whenever you have a system and your job is to find the solution, we just don't run behind finding the solution. Okay, because what if the solution does not exist? Then why to waste our energy and why to waste our time? So one should know when does the solution exist and when does the solution does not exist. So if it does not exist, no point in wasting time on that. Okay, so we will see when does the solution exist, and to understand this concept one should know rank of a matrix. So if you don't know what do you mean by rank of a matrix, my very strong suggestion is you please understand that concept first, and I have recorded a very nice lecture on rank of a matrix. You can find the link in the description. Okay, so please go through that. Otherwise, if you don't know the rank, then you won't understand this session. Okay, so please have a look. And finally, after knowing when does the solution exist or does not exist, we will see some examples so that this whole concept will be clear to you. Okay, let's go for the first point. So what are linear equations? So in your high school, you have studied linear equations, right? How does a linear equation will look like? Something like 2x plus 3y equal to 4. You have seen such equations, right? Like if you want to buy some n number of mangoes or n number of apples, and then you have the equations and all, right? So you have played with such kind of things. So when you call an equation to be a linear equation, when the variables which are involved, they should have the degree 1 and there should not be the product of the variables, or each term should have the degree 1 or 0. Okay, so but there should be at least one term with degree 1. Okay, so such an equation is called as a linear equation. Now suppose you have one more equation, say 3x plus 4y is equal to 7. Now whenever you have more than one linear equation, then we call such collection of equations as system of linear equations. Okay, so we don't say, okay, consider 10 linear equations, consider 14 linear equations, consider 1000 linear equations. No, whenever you have more than one equation, we say system of linear equations. Okay, and this is true for anything. Whenever you have more than one differential equation, we call it a system of differential equations. Okay, so that's what the word system means. And when you call something to be a solution, when I will call A and B is the solution to this system, when it will satisfy all the equations in that system. When a point or a tuple satisfies all the equations in that system, then we call that as a solution to that system. Okay, so now how does a system looks like in general? So here I took only two variables. In general, it may have say n number of variables. Okay, so suppose let me write this as a11x1 plus a12x2 plus a1nxn is equal to b1. So this is an equation in n variables. Okay, and instead of writing a b c d, I am writing a11, a12, a1n. Why I am using this as a suffices? You will see that matrix will come into picture, and that's why this notation is a good notation. Suppose you have another equation. So suppose a21 in n variables, it will be a22 x2. It also has n variables equal to something, say b2. And suppose you have say m number of equations. Okay, so am1 x1 plus am2 x2. So you have m number of equations, and how many unknowns are there? There are n unknowns. Okay, so let me call this as my star. So this star is a system of linear equations, or you can say this star is a system of m linear equations in n unknowns. Okay, so this is how in general a linear system looks like. Now once you have a linear system, the first step you do is you write down this in the matrix form. That means what? You rewrite this as in the matrix form. So your first will be you write down the coefficients a11, a12 up to a1n, and that is multiplied by the variables x1, x2 up to xn. If you do this multiplication, first row with this first column, the multiplication is nothing but the left hand side of the first equation. and equal to, I am writing it as B1. For the second one, you write down the coefficients A21, A22 up to A2n into the variables equal to B2. And if you keep on going, AM1, AM2 up to AMN, this is equal to BM. So a system can be represented in the matrix form in this way. Okay, and therefore we always write a system as, if I call this as matrix A, this is my unknown vector, vector x, and this is the right hand side which I am calling it as small b, or sometimes also people also call as the capital B, but it's okay. So the system can be written as Ax equal to B. This is called as a matrix form of the system, where A is the matrix of order. What is the order of matrix A? M cross n. What is the order of vector x? N cross 1. So the product makes sense because these two are same, and the product will be of order M cross 1. So therefore B is a matrix of order M cross 1. It's a column vector. So that is the one thing one should know. So whenever you have a system, you write in the matrix form. Okay, and once you have this, now next comes the type of the system of equations. Now there are usually two types that one can classify, and those two types are homogeneous system of linear equations and non-homogeneous system of linear equations. So there are many other classifications as well, but in this session I will just stick to non-homogeneous and homogeneous system of linear equations. So when the right hand side, when this B vector is completely 0, that means all the entries over here are 0, then such a system is called as a homogeneous system of linear equations. Okay, and if this B is a non-zero vector, if B is a non-zero column vector, then we call such a system to be a non-homogeneous system of linear equations. Okay, now let's jump towards the solution. When does the solution to this system exist? So now we have a system and we write system in the matrix form. So this is the order which we already wrote. Okay, now there is one thing called as an augmented matrix. Now what do you mean by as an augmented matrix? You simply, so once you have a matrix A, you adjoin the last column as a column vector B. Okay, so this is a matrix of order, so number of rows are same. I am just adjoining one more column on the extreme right, so therefore the number of column increases by 1. Okay, so such form of a matrix is called as an augmented form. You just adjoin your column vector B on the extreme right hand side. So augmented matrix. So there is a theorem which says that once you have the matrix system, the matrix A and the augmented form, you do your Gauss elimination method, or in other words, you do your row elementary operations or column operations, whichever you are comfortable with. I usually prefer row operations. So once you have the system, you write in the matrix form, you write down the augmented form, and to this augmented form you apply your row operations, that is the Gauss elimination method, and you obtain the row echelon form. You can go to row reduced echelon form as well, but that's not required. For this, row echelon form is sufficient. Okay, so you do that, and once you are in the row echelon form, the theorem says you find the rank of A and you find the rank of A augmented B. If the ranks are not same, okay, if the rank of A is not equal to rank of A augmented B, then the system has no solution. Okay, and if the rank of A is equal to rank of A augmented B, then the system has a solution, then the solution do exist. Okay, and in this scenario there are further two possibilities. Okay, so let me call this number as R. Suppose the rank is R, they are same for rank of A and rank of A augmented B. If the rank is equal to the number of unknowns x1 to xn, n is what? Number of unknowns, or you can see the number of columns in the matrix A. If the rank is equal to the number of unknowns, then the system has unique solution. There is precisely one solution that will satisfy all the equations in that system, only one. And if the rank is less than the number of unknowns, then the system has infinitely many solutions. So this is the very important theorem. Okay, so simply see this thing, not equal, no solution, equal, then unique and infinitely many solution. Now one can ask, there is no case of finite solutions. Well, either it will have a one solution or it will have infinitely many solutions. Why so? Because once you will see this using examples, that as soon as your r is less than n, so that means you will have n minus r free variables. And as soon as you have free variables, means they can take any value, any real value, and they are infinite in number, therefore you will have infinitely many solutions. Okay, so either unique, either one, or infinitely many, or no solution. These are the three categories. Let me tell you one nice fact. Okay, so when you have a non-homogeneous system, that means the B vector is non-zero, then you have these three possibilities: no solution, unique solution, or infinitely many solutions. But when you have a homogeneous system, that means my right side is completely zero, B vector, then it will always have a solution. This case will never occur. Why so? Because let me explain you this with the help of an example. If you have 2x plus y equal to 0 and 3x plus 4y equal to 0. Suppose this is a system of two linear equations. Okay. Now one can see that if you take xy equal to 0, 0, then it will satisfy this equation, right? So because our right hand side is 0, completely 0, that means in a system there are no constant terms. All the terms will have a variable. Okay, so whenever you have such a situation, then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 number of variables. So when you take them as 0, then that will always form a solution to the system. Okay, so there is a word for this. So whenever a system has a solution, then such a system is called as a consistent system. Okay, so since homogeneous system will always have a zero solution. Okay, will always have a zero solution, sometimes also called as a trivial solution. So whenever a system has a solution, then we call it as a consistent system. Now since homogeneous system always have a zero solution or trivial solution, therefore homogeneous system are always consistent. Whereas non-homogeneous may be consistent, may not be consistent. Okay. Another thing, in homogeneous system, if it is a unique solution, then what is that solutions? Since 0 is always a solution and I am saying that it has a unique solution, then that solution is only 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's the only solution. And if it is other than 0 solution, then in that case it will have infinitely many solutions. Okay, so if someone says, suppose you have a homogeneous system with a unique solution, then what can you say about that solution? The answer is that solution has to be a zero solution only, nothing else. And if you say that the homogeneous system has infinitely many solutions, then yes, it will have some non-zero solutions as well. So that's one good observation that one has to understand. Okay, now let's see some examples. Now consider a system which has three linear equations. Now as soon as you have a system, the first step is you write down in the matrix form, which is Ax equal to B. So in this case you have write down the coefficients 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 0, 3, 5, 3. Then you write down x, y, z, and then you write down 1, 2, 4. Once you have this the matrix form, the second thing, you write down this in the augmented form. Okay, so what is the augmented form? You simply attach the vector b, 1, 2, 4. I have just drawn this line for the bifurcation. If you are okay with this, no need to draw this line. But for simplicity, just let me draw the line. Okay, now what you do is you do your row operations. So if I do R2 minus 2 R1, so my first row is as it is. If I do R2 minus 2 times R1, 0, 3 minus 4 is minus 1, and 0 minus 6 is minus 6, 2 minus 2 is 0. Now here R3 minus 3 times R1, so 0, 5 minus 6 minus 1, 3 minus 9 minus 6, 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, now you can see these two are same, so you do R3 minus R2. So once I do R3 minus R2, the first row is same, and then second row is same, and what is the third row? You subtract 0, 0, 0, and this is 1. Now this is in the row echelon form. Good. Now you see what is the rank of A. That means you ignore the column B. You ignore this column. How many non-zero rows are there? 2. Therefore the rank of A is 2. What is rank of A augmented B? That means you look all this together at one shot. How many non-zero rows are there? 1, 2, 3 non-zero rows. Therefore the rank is 3. So since rank of A is not equal to rank of A augmented B, therefore this system is an inconsistent system. There will never exist X, Y, Z which will satisfy all the 3 equations altogether. So therefore no solution exists. Therefore this is an inconsistent system. Here is the second example. So you have again I'm taking 3 equations only just for the easy calculations. So you have a system. You write down in the augmented form. You write in the matrix form for your convenience. I directly wrote in the augmented form. Now once I have this, I have to make these 2 entries as 0. So R2 minus 2R1, R3 minus 3R1. So my first row will remain as it is. This will be 0, 0. 3 minus 4 minus 1, 1 minus 6 minus 5, 2 minus 2, 0. Then here you have 0 minus 6 minus 6, 1 minus 9 minus 8, 4 minus 3, 1. Now you make this entry as 0. So what will you do? You will do R3 changes to R3 minus 6R2. So when you do this change, my first two rows will be as it is. So 0 minus 1 minus 5, 0, and the last will be 0, 0, minus 8 plus 30. Minus 8 plus 30 is 22, and 1 minus 0 is 1. Now you see what is rank of A. So to find the rank of A, you ignore the last column. How many non-zero rows are there? 3 non-zero rows. So rank of A is 3. What is rank of A augmented B? You ignore this line. How many non-zero rows? Again 3. So since rank of A is equal to rank of A augmented B, therefore this is a consistent system. Now once it is consistent, you can ask whether it has a unique solution or whether it has infinitely many solutions. But as you can see, rank is equal to the number of unknowns or the number of columns of A. Or how many unknowns? X, Y, Z. There are 3 unknowns. So since your rank of A is equal to rank of A augmented B is equal to the number of unknowns, therefore this system has a unique solution. And then you can find. So again you write down this. So this is X plus 2Y plus 3Z equal to 1. Minus y minus 5z equal to 0, 22z equal to 1. So z will be 1 by 22. Put the value of z in the previous equation, you get the value of y. Put the value of y and z in the first equation, you get the value of x. So the first homework for you is, in the comment section, tell me what is x, y, z. Z I already told you 1 by 22. Do some work and tell me what is x and y. Okay, now let's go for the final example. So here again you have a system with 3 equations. You write down in the augmented form A augmented B. Then again you have to make these 2 entries as 0. So R2 minus 2R1, R3 minus 3R1. This will force this 2 entry to be 0. 3 minus 4 minus 1, 1 minus 6 minus 5, 2 minus 2, 0. This will be 0. 5 minus 6 minus 1, 4 minus 9 minus 5, and 3 minus 3, 0. Now if I do R3 minus R2, this will be 0, this will be 0, and this is already 0. So here you can see, if I ignore this, rank of A is 2 non-zero rows, and if I ignore this, then rank of A augmented B is also 2. So rank of A is equal to rank of A augmented B is equal to 2, which is less than number of unknowns. Therefore, this system has infinitely many solutions. Okay, so how many unknowns are there? 3. What is the rank? 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So there will be one number of free variable. There will be one free variable in this case. And now if you rewrite this, you have x plus 2y plus 3z equal to 1. And here you have minus y. If I multiply by minus sign, y plus 5z equal to 0. So you call your z equal to t, some free variable. So your y will be minus 5t. Put the value of z and y over here. So your x minus 10t plus 3t equal to 1. So your x will be 1. This is what? Minus. So 1 plus 7t. So x will be 1 plus 7t. Y is this and z is this. So this t can be any variable. It can be any real number. So therefore this system has infinitely many solutions. So that's how one can play with the rank to determine whether the solution to the system exists or not. If you have any other doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. And if everything is clear, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.